Welcome back, everybody. Today, we're going to be doing a deep dive on something that, is becoming increasingly important, air purifiers. You know, those devices that are promising cleaner and healthier air? But with so many options and claims out there,
Yeah,
it's pretty hard to separate fact from fiction.
absolutely. It's a booming market with a lot of marketing hype, so it's important to approach it with a discerning eye.
For sure. For this deep dive, we're looking at a website called Fresh Air Matters. They specialize in air purification solutions. They have a wide range of brands and models, from budget-friendly to very high-end, and they make some bold claims about their products' effectiveness.
You know, what kind of claims are we talking about?
Well, one thing that jumps out at me is they state that their air purifiers can remove up to 99.99% of allergens and pollutants, including particles related to COVID-19. That's a
Oh.
pretty big statement. What's your take on that?
Well, it's true that some air purifiers can trap particles of the size associated with certain viruses. But it's crucial to remember that this doesn't automatically equal protection against diseases like COVID-19. It's important to look for purifiers that are specifically tested and certified for virus removal by reputable third-party organizations.
That makes sense. So it's not just about removing particles, it's about targeting specific types of particles and having the scientific evidence to back it up. Now, Fresh Air Matters seem to be really big on HEPA filters. They even call them the gold standard in air purification. For those who are new to this world, can you explain what HEPA filters are and why they're considered so effective?
Absolutely. HEPA stands for High Efficiency Particulate Air Filter. Think of it like a really fine net. It's designed to trap tiny particles from the air. Particles as small as zero point 0.3 microns, which is actually smaller than the width of a human hair.
Wow, that's incredibly small. How do these filters actually work?
Okay, imagine a dense forest. The trees act as obstacles. They're trapping anything that tries to pass through. Similarly, a HEPA filter is made of a tightly woven mesh of fibers that force air to take a winding path. As the air navigates this maze, particles get stuck to the fibers, and that leaves cleaner air to pass through.
Okay, that's a great analogy. It's like these tiny air forests capturing all the bad stuff. But Fresh Air Matters also mentions other air purification technologies, like patented filters. What does that even mean?
That's a good question. Patented filters often indicate a company's unique technology, which may target specific pollutants beyond what a standard HEPA filter can capture. They might take us on things like gases or odors, or incorporate additional features like UV light disinfection. However, it's essential to look beyond the marketing, understand what these patents actually cover, and if they're backed by credible third-party testing.
So while it sounds impressive, we shouldn't just take their word for it. We need to dig a little deeper and see what the evidence says.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Independent verification is key. Now, one thing Fresh Air Matters emphasizes is matching specific air purifiers to different environments.
Right. They have examples on the website: bedrooms, large spaces, even medical offices. They seem to suggest that the right air purifier for you depends on your specific needs and the environment you're trying to purify.
Yeah, that's a valid point.
Yeah.
Not all spaces have the same air purification requirements. A small bedroom might require a different type of purifier than a large living room or a medical office with specific hygiene needs. It's about understanding the different types of pollutants and choosing a purifier that addresses your specific concerns.
Speaking of choices, Fresh Air Matters features quite a range of brands, like Air Doctor, Austin Air, Medify, and even something called EcoFan Filter. They seem to lean towards what they call professional-grade air purifiers. What's your take on these brands? Are they generally considered reputable?
Well, some of those brands, like Austin Air and Air Doctor, are well known in the air purifier industry and have a reputation for quality. They often use high-quality components and undergo rigorous testing to ensure their effectiveness. But as always, it's wise to look for independent reviews and comparisons from trusted sources.
Good point. It's important to do your own research. Don't just rely on one source. But here's where I did a double take. The prices on this website, they range from a modest $25 for the EcoFan filter to a whopping $2,399 for the Trusen's Z7000. I mean, wow, that $2,399 air purifier better come with a personal butler who dusts my furniture. What justifies such a massive difference in price?
Well, several factors can influence the price of an air purifier. First, the type and quality of filters used play a significant role. HEPA filters come in different grades. Higher grades offer better filtration efficiency, but often cost more. Specialized filters for gases, chemicals, or odors can also add to the price.
So it's not just about HEPA or no HEPA. There are different levels even within HEPA filters. What else affects the price?
Coverage area is another crucial factor. A purifier designed for a small room will naturally be less expensive than one intended for a large open space. The more powerful the fan and the larger the filter, the higher the cost is likely to be. Then you have additional features. Some purifiers come with smart technology. Think Wi-Fi connectivity, app control, air quality sensors, and automatic adjustments. These features add convenience, but also contribute to a higher price tag. It's like the difference between a basic model car and one with all the bells and whistles.
That makes sense. And of course, brand reputation and marketing also play a role.
Absolutely. Established brands with a track record of quality and performance often command a premium price. They've invested in research, development, and building a trusted name, and that gets reflected in the price.
All right, so it's a combination of factors that contribute to the price, but Fresh Air Matters also highlights some specific models that caught our eye. They have some intriguing ones, like the AirPura R600, which they market as the everyday air purifier, and the AirPura T600 DLX, specifically designed for heavy tobacco smoke. That's quite a niche market. And for those who prefer a less obtrusive option, there's the Medify MA45, a wall-mounted air purifier. Let's dive into these models a bit more. What makes them stand out, and what are your thoughts on their practicality and effectiveness?
While the AirPura R600, being marketed as the everyday air purifier, likely aims for a broad appeal, addressing common allergens and pollutants found in most homes, it'd be interesting to see what specific features they highlight to justify this label.
Right, and the AirPura T600 DLX for heavy tobacco smoke, that suggests it might have a specialized filter for odor removal. What do you think? Does that seem like a practical solution for smokers or those living in smoky environments?
It likely incorporates activated carbon, a highly porous material that acts like a sponge, absorbing odors and gases. It's often used in conjunction with HEPA filters to provide more comprehensive air purification. Activated carbon is indeed very effective at absorbing odors and gases, so it makes sense for a purifier targeting smoke to incorporate this type of filter. However, the effectiveness would depend on the size and quality of the carbon filter and the severity of the smoke exposure.
That makes sense. What about the wall-mounted Medify MA45? What are the pros and cons of going for a wall-mounted option?
Wall-mounted purifiers can be a great space-saving solution, especially in smaller rooms. They free up floor space and can be less noticeable than freestanding units. However, installation might require some DIY skills, and you'll need to ensure it's mounted securely.
Good points. And speaking of practicality, Fresh Air Matters offers financing options through Affirm and PayPal. That seems like it could make these potentially pricey air purifiers more accessible. But are there any potential downsides you should be aware of before signing up?
Well, financing can certainly make a large purchase more manageable, spreading the cost over time. However, it's crucial to understand the terms and conditions of any financing agreement, including interest rates and fees. Sometimes what seems like a convenient option can end up costing you more in the long run.
That's a great reminder. It's easy to get caught up in the buy now, pay later mentality, but it's important to be financially savvy.
Absolutely. It's about weighing the benefits of having an air purifier now against the potential costs of financing and ensuring it aligns with your budget. It's all about making informed decisions and understanding the true cost.
Right. And it seems like Fresh Air Matters is really positioning itself as a source for high quality, perhaps even medical-grade air purifiers. They emphasize HEPA filters, targeted solutions for specific needs, and even have a section dedicated to medical offices and schools.
That's an interesting observation. It raises the question of what exactly they mean by medical grade. Are these purifiers actually certified for medical use? What criteria are they using to define that?
Good point. It's definitely something to investigate further. And maybe that ties back to your earlier point about looking for scientific evidence to support their claims. They might be using that term loosely for marketing purposes.
Exactly. While Fresh Air Matters provides a lot of information, it's essential to approach it with a critical eye. What independent studies or certifications back up their assertions? Are there other reputable sources that corroborate their information?
So it's like a starting point for our own research, not the final work.
Precisely. Think of it as one piece of the puzzle. It's up to us to gather the other pieces and form a complete picture.
Okay, so let's recap what we've learned so far. We've got Fresh Air Matters, a website claiming to offer air purifiers that remove almost all allergens and pollutants, including those related to COVID-19. We learned about HEPA filters, which are like tiny air forests capturing microscopic particles. And we discussed how the price of an air purifier can be influenced by factors like filter type, coverage area, additional features, and brand reputation.
And we also touched on the importance of looking beyond marketing claims and seeking independent verification.
Right. What does this all mean for someone who's actually considering buying an air purifier?
It means that choosing an air purifier is not as simple as just picking the shiniest model or the one with the most marketing hype. It requires informed decision-making. Understanding your specific needs, the different technologies available, and the level of evidence supporting various claims is essential. Do you have allergies? Are you concerned about smoke or pet dander? Do you live in an area with high pollution levels? These are all factors to consider.
It's like buying a car. You wouldn't just walk into a dealership and buy the first car you see, would you? You'd do your research, compare models, consider your budget, and think about your specific needs.
Exactly. And it's the same with air purifiers. Take the time to understand what's out there, what works best for different situations, and what kind of evidence supports the various claims being made. Don't be afraid to ask questions and seek expert advice if needed.
I once had a client who swore by a specific brand of air purifier. When I dug a little deeper, I discovered that the company was sponsoring his favorite podcast. It's amazing how much marketing can influence our perceptions.
It really is. That's why it's so important to be discerning consumers and think critically about the information we're being presented with.
So, as we wrap up our exploration of fresh air matters, what's the one key takeaway you want our listeners to remember?
I'd say it's this. Be an informed consumer. Do your research, ask questions, and don't be afraid to challenge marketing claims. Your health and well-being are worth it.
That's such great advice. It's so easy to fall for flashy marketing. But at the end of the day, it's about finding an air purifier that truly meets your needs and is backed by solid evidence.
Absolutely. It's about empowering yourself to make informed choices that contribute to a healthier and more comfortable environment.
So, given everything we've learned from Fresh Air Matters, what further research would you recommend before someone invests in an air purifier?
Well, I'd start by looking for independent reviews and comparisons. From reputable sources like Consumer Reports or trusted websites specializing in air purifier testing. Don't just rely on what the manufacturer says. Dig deeper and see what others are saying about the product's performance, noise level, ease of use, and filter replacement costs.
Yeah, that's a great point. Filter replacement costs are often overlooked, but they can add up significantly over time. What else should people consider?
Think about your specific needs and priorities. What are your primary concerns? Are you dealing with allergies, pet dander, smoke, or general air pollution? Once you've identified your main concerns, you can narrow down your search to air purifiers that target those specific pollutants. Also consider the size of the space you need to purify. A small purifier might be sufficient for a bedroom, but you'll need a much larger and more powerful unit for a living room or open plan area.
And what about those medical grade claims? How can someone determine if a purifier is truly up to the task of addressing medical level concerns?
Look for certifications from reputable organizations. For example, the Association of Home Appliance Manufacturers, AHM, has a certification program for air purifiers, which sets standards for things like clean air delivery rate, CADR, and room size coverage. Additionally, look for purifiers that have been specifically tested for things like virus removal or allergen reduction.
So it's all about doing your homework and not making assumptions based solely on marketing language.
Exactly. It's about being an informed and empowered consumer.
Well, I think we've given our listeners a lot to think about today. It's clear that choosing an air purifier is not a decision to be taken lightly. There are so many factors to consider, from filter types and coverage areas to brand reputation and independent testing. But by arming yourself with the right knowledge and approaching the process with a critical eye, you can make an informed decision that contributes to a healthier and more comfortable environment for you and your loved ones.
Well said. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to our health and well-being.
Absolutely. So until next time, breathe easy, everyone, and happy purifying.